What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Talk of Fame podcast with your host, Kylie, and today on the Talk of Fame podcast, we have actress, singer, dancer, and model that is best known for the lead role in Rumors, a biological film produced by Flo and David Frankel and Venner, a film that has been accepted into 20 plus film festivals and won various awards. She will also appear on the upcoming TV series called Capital Rise to Power, soon to be premiering on Amazon Prime. I'm so happy to welcome Ari Caspitos. Is that how you say it?
Cespedes. Yeah,
Okay.
it's complicated.
And so thank you so much for coming on the podcast. How are you?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Kylie. I'm so happy to be here. I'm doing very, very well and just excited for the summer. Honestly, I'm just ready to go to the beach and just live out my summer dream.
Oh, me too. I'm like so sad. I don't get done until like 2 weeks. I get done on the 20, not 25th, the 5th. So I'm just so excited for summer so I can just go to the beach and do all
Oh
these
yeah,
things I
perks
have on
of being a college
vacation.
student. We end earlier.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so jealous. Like, where to go to college?
I just graduated from community college in Miami and now I'm going to a state university, so FIU. Pause up.
Ooh, that's amazing. Like, what are you studying like at the university?
Marketing, actually. Everyone
Ooh.
thinks I study acting, but it's marketing. I love it.
Ooh, I know a lot of people think like, oh, you had to be studying acting since you're an
Yeah,
actor.
no, I'm
But
not that
like,
type.
why did you choose like marketing? Like, are you kind of
I,
like a marketing person?
yeah, I have like always loved business, and I knew I wanted to do something with business because I don't like any other fields, and I just love selling, products and all of that. And like as an actor, you sell yourself as a product, and in marketing, you sell products. So they just kind of like intertwined, and I just
Oh yeah.
love marketing. I don't know how to explain it. It's just something that I'm good at. I'm naturally good at. I'm very creative. So that's why I chose. It's perfect.
I guess it's like with marketing and like a content creator or actor, those things align so much in terms of promoting
Yeah,
products and basically promoting this like brand and everything. It's like
for
very similar.
sure. Yeah.
But like, what would you say like kind of inspired you to get into acting? I know you probably get this question a lot.
Yeah, so I love answering this question because I'm sure listeners would relate. Stranger Things season 3 came out,
Oh,
and
Stranger
people
Things is
kept telling me to
amazing.
watch it, and I had watched season 1, but I was like, no, like I don't like the show, whatever. So I ended up rewatching it because people were insisting. And then after season 3, it was like this out of body experience that I just like sat there and I was like, I need to do this. So it was not like I took it so seriously. Like right after that, I was like, how to be on Stranger Things season 4. And I started with that, I just started, finding headshots, building up my resume, submitting to short films. And it's like this virus that you get as an actor that you really can't get rid of. It's like an acting bug. So ever since that moment, July 2019 was like, yeah,
Mm.
this is what I'm gonna do. And it's been 4 years. So I really, really hope that this acting bug stays forever, which it probably will.
Definitely. Like like did you ever get into Stranger Things season 4 though?
Funny. So I had applied to be an extra and like stand-ins, like whatever. I just wanted to be on that set. And I got called to be a stand-in for one of like the actors in the lab, but I had to like have a buzz cut. And I
Oh,
was like,
really?
no. I was like, no. And I couldn't do that because I had so many other opportunities lining up that and it wasn't even a role, it was a stand-in for another actor. So
hmm
it just wasn't worth it at all. And I just like sat there crying for days because I was like, my one opportunity and I had to buzz my head. So that was disappointing.
Like
Yeah.
I said, like, it was especially opportunities come up. You're like, do I really have to shave my head? And this will take
It
forever to
sucks.
basically get like your hair
Yeah.
grown back.
I would shave my head if it was for a big role. But, for such a small role that, you weren't even on camera, I was like, no,
It's just like
no.
not like worth the energy and
Yeah, it really wasn't. Sad. I still cry about it. I
I
felt bad.
definitely would too. If it was like my favorite show, I'd be like, I'm going to lose
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah.
this. Like, I'm not doing acting ever
Season
again.
5, we still have a shot.
Yeah, you still have a shot. There's still season five, though. You may
Last
never
season.
know.
Yeah.
But like, what was like your first acting experience? Like, was it like theater or was it kind of like an on-screen role?
So funny, I say that word a lot. Sorry. I grew up in the theater world, but I loved musical theater, and that's how I got rid of my stage fright, but I never really took it seriously. It was just like a middle school production stuff. And then I kind of neglected that, and then whatever. So film acting was from Stranger Things. That's what got me into film acting. But I did start off with theater. I have a lot of theater background. And then my first film ever was in January of 2020, so right before COVID. I had booked a student film for UCF, it's a university, and I drove up all the way to Orlando. So,
Yeah,
and
it's a couple of hour drive from like Miami to
yeah,
Orlando,
it
but it's
was
on the boat
four
like different
hours.
sides of the state.
Yeah, it was 4 hours, and it was like a 1 day shoot. It wasn't a big role, but I was so determined. I was like, this is my first film. Like, I have to drive 4 hours. And
Hmm.
I got there, and it was my first experience ever. So, like, I was very camera shy, but the feeling that I had being on that set was like an indescribable feeling. I just knew this is what I wanted to do. Like, I had 3 lines in a dance montage, and I was like,
Ooh.
I felt like I was flying. I was like, I want to do this. Like, I was just in awe. I was like soaking in every moment. And then from there, we obviously booked more films, but that was my first film. It's called Resilient, and I will forever treasure Resilient.
Like, did you dance before? Like, you like
Hmm.
got that role?
Yeah, I grew up dancing, so
Oh no
I
way!
still
I did
dance.
dance as well. I did dance as well.
That's totally amazing. I love dancers. I don't know why it's not a sport. We work so hard.
I know. Like I
Yeah.
literally had like when I did dance, I had like to learn 11 dances in a couple of weeks. But then I ended up like
Yeah.
quitting like to like because like it was just like with so much going on that I just didn't have
It's
time for it.
difficult.
But like dancing is just an unreal feeling to do. Like it's just
Yeah,
like
it's
brings you
very
out
difficult.
like your headspace and just get into like, a different mind state of without worrying.
I love, yeah. It's just another creative outlet that I have, and you just release a lot from dancing. So I love it.
Like, what is
Yeah.
like your favorite like genre to dance? Like hip hop, tap.
That's a okay. It depends on what mood I'm in. Because I love hip hop if the song is good and if I
Mm.
know the song. But sometimes like the hip hop songs that are chosen are like I'm not even like hyped to do it. But then contemporary, I think contemporary because whatever song it is, I'm always feeling it. I don't know why. I'm just always feeling contempt. So I would say contempt.
I don't know why, but I'm more of like a hip hop person. I do
I
not know
agree.
why. It's just like the music and the dancing from that's like involves in hip hop. I'm just like this is my type of thing. Like it's just
I
like
agree. Oh yeah. I'm both, depending on my mood. It
yeah,
just
like it's
depends on
like
my mood.
changes for every dancer. Like one day I'm hip hop, one day I'm contemporary, one day I'm tap. It depends on like your day and the way you're
I
feeling.
agree. Yeah.
But like, how much hard work and dedication do you need to put in as an actor? Because I know with a lot of actors, especially with this business is so hard and like it takes a lot of time and energy. But
Oh yeah.
if actors are kind of looking for to get successful or don't know how much time and dedication they should put in, like how much work do you put in dedication?
Yeah, so the work that you put in is the results that you're going to see. So it
Mm-hmm.
depends how bad you want it. And if you really, really want it and you want to book a big role and you want to, make all these connections and all of that, it's a lot of hard work. And, people think that actors are just famous. Like
Mm-hmm.
those are the only successful actors. And it sucks because there's a lot of actors that are still yet waiting to be discovered. And the amount of hard work that we put in is so underappreciated.
I
Man, like
know.
we do like over 100 auditions in a year and we don't get paid for them. And it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money. Self-tape, like these lights right here weren't cheap, the backdrop. And it's just a lot of mental energy that's drained from you when you keep hearing no, no, no. But then again, it's so encouraging. But it's a lot of sacrificing and a lot of acting classes too, because acting classes, obviously, they're gonna make you grow, but it is a lot of work because you also don't get paid for that. So
Oh
you have
yeah.
to put in a lot of sacrifices too, and just dealing with rejection is very, very hard, but I've just learned to appreciate every no, and then I'll be thankful for every yes because you're so used to hearing no, no, no. That one yes could be like that one line on a big TV show, and people are like, "You only had one line." I was like, "Yeah, I only had one line, but I worked so hard for it." So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of hard work, but it's so beautiful at the same time. Like it's so rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Because like you do not know, like that one line might give you a big shot in something else.
Exactly, exactly. You never know.
Like you truly don't, because like even though you might deal with tons of no's, personally dealt with tons of no's and more than yeses. Like that's just the part of this business is that like if you are an actor, like you will deal more no's than you will yeses. And that one yes,
Agreed.
honestly, this feels like so
Yeah,
rewarding. Because you work
it's
so
amazing.
hard for it, that's like I'm just like you seem once you get that yes, you're like, I'm just the happiest person in the world. No one's gonna change it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Don't let people steal your joy. That's
Oh
not
yeah.
what we're about, guys.
Yeah, that's not worry about. A lot of people like to take your joy in terms of
Yeah,
weight.
and like
But like as
surround
long as
yourself
you
with
love it, then
community.
that's the most important.
Exactly. And community is so vital. Like the people that you hang out with should be throwing you a whole party for that
I
role.
know, right? It's like I'll go on a surprise party the next day, be like, oh, we're going to eat. Then it turns out to be a
Oh
surprise
yeah.
party.
Yeah,
Like as
for sure.
long as you have that group of people that support
It
you and
changes
cheer you
everything.
on, that's all you need. As long as you have a good support system, like the support system is so good to be in this industry because as long as you have the support system, because when
Yep.
you get a no, it's honestly heartbreaking, and to have those people with you and to take care of you when you have that emotional thing going on after you get a no, that's very rewarding to have those people have your back and kind of lift you up when when you are
Yeah,
down.
it's so encouraging, so vital too. Like community is so like your actor tribe, so important if you want to succeed.
Oh yeah. And like how can like people get into acting from your perspective?
I love this one. So, number one, acting classes. People
Oh yeah.
think they are above acting classes. That's not how it works. Okay? Acting classes determine if this is for you and you really like this. Because
Mm-hmm.
you will be given scenes and you will have to perform without, booking a project. So, number one, get into acting classes. It's good for you, your training, and it also determines if you like it or not. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to pay so much money for an acting class. There's so many free trial acting classes and also online ones. So no excuses. There's free trials, there's free online acting classes. That's where to start. Number two, if you really, really like this, learn about the business as much as you can. Watch videos. That's what I did. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, talk with industry professionals. There's a lot of free workshops. And next up, professional headshots. If you can't afford those, it can't be a wedding photographer or, a photographer that's not a headshot photographer. It has to be one that knows what casting directors want and one that helps you. And if you can't afford that, great quality headshots at home with your iPhone. I did that when I was trying to save up for headshots, worked perfectly. And then when you have that, you start applying to student, short, independent films to build up your resume. Because your resume and headshot are like the two things that you need. Demo reels are very important, but headshot and resume is what is going to get you to more roles and more places and more connections.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Because like when people, especially casting directors, see that headshot in your resume,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, "Oh, this person did this. Like we need to get her for this role." Because
Exactly.
like even though the experience might be so small, it might be worth it in a couple months from now.
I agree. Yeah. Your first impression for a casting director is your headshot. So if you have a bad headshot, bye bye. They don't have time for that. Like real
Mhm.
talk, they don't have time for that.
Yeah, because if it's a good, not a good headshot, you're like, this is a horrible headshot. This really shows about the person.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it sucks, but you really, really have to have a good headshot.
Even it's like on your phone or like have or even if you have a photographer in your family, like have them take pictures
Yeah,
for you. Because even though
exactly.
you might have connections, use that connection for your acting. That means as long as your headshots are good, then that might lead you to good things. Because as long as the headshot's good and your Zoom is kind of building up as time goes on, then
Yeah,
you're
it's kind of
basically
like your
going,
first audition, a headshot.
yeah, it's like your first audition, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how do you like your manage like your mental health, especially in this business, with getting so many no's and like getting stopped out after getting no's? Like, I know it can be very hard.
Yeah, it's literally prioritizing yourself and knowing your limits because you can prioritize yourself, but not be aware of your boundaries. And e- how do I describe this? Like, for example, me, when my mental health is feeling a little low, and let's say I receive an audition and I have, 3 days to do it, I won't jump on it right away because my mental health is more important. And when my mental health is thriving, then I will have a better audition. But I've had so many auditions where I've taken it knowing that I wasn't mentally okay, and it shows in your audition. It
Yeah,
shows,
exactly.
and it's such a poor performance. So prioritizing yourself, prioritizing your mental health, saying no when you can't handle it, and also having a life outside of acting, so important. A lot of people make acting their whole career, their whole personality, and when you start receiving those no's, it's like your whole life falls apart because you have no other foundation. So
Hmm.
it's very important to have creative outlets. So my creative outlets are dancing. I love playing guitar, piano. I love
Hmm.
hanging out with my friends. I love going to the beach. Those are my creative outlets. That's where I run to when acting is slow or I keep getting no's. Affirmations, great way is to like, put sticky notes on your mirror and just repeat it until you believe it.
Oh
It's
yeah, that's a
crazy.
good one.
It's literally crazy. It's so simple, but like I'm not good enough is such a lie. Like such a
Mhm.
lie. And like it holds so many people back. It's held me back for like years until I finally accepted I am good enough. And I believe it now. Obviously, we have on
Mhm.
and off days, but I believe it now. And like therapy, like a lot of people think they're above therapy. No, therapy helps with everything. And I'm
Mhm.
also a woman of faith, so my relationship with God and praying just like elevates my mental health. So just as much as possible, obviously not overworking yourself, but there are so many ways to prioritize your mental health, especially in this business. And, just not make it all about acting and yeah.
Oh yeah, because like especially with this business, like it can just take a lot of toll on you. Like with me, like sometimes I have like multiple interviews a day. Like it can be absolutely
Yeah, it's
insane.
crazy.
But like when you have that days off and you're like, I am going nonstop, I need a break. Like this is
Yeah.
absolutely insane. Because sometimes, like for me, like I have like interviews. Um, like once I wake up at like around 8 o'clock in the morning, go from school 8 a.m. to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then do an interview, then go to work, and then get home around like 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, and then probably do some more work and go to bed at 11 or 11:30.
Oh,
So yes, like that's some days my life looks like, and like people are thinking like, why is their life like that? 16 years old, but then like that's just like the beauty of it. Because if you work hard to get into this business, like
yeah.
it'll really show. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like even though it can be mentally tolling, and for me, it's so mentally tolling on some days. Some days
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is so much. I really don't want to do this interview. I just want to relax and take time for myself and basically just watch TV or go hang out with friends. Like for me, like hanging out with friends is such a huge thing, and doing something that I love, maybe like
Yeah.
traveling, going to the beach, like you said. Like I'm a huge beach person, or even traveling. I love traveling, or even going on a walk or a hike. Like for me, like
Yeah.
I'm a big outdoors person, so I'm like whether it's like a walk an hour a day or going on a hike with a friend, like whatever
Yeah.
whatever how big or small is, it would just kind of like bring out the best in you to know like, oh, and life is not all about your work. You can always have fun and go outside and have fun, even though it might
Yep.
seem like every single day.
Yeah. I totally agree with everything you said.
Awesome. Now, with the ongoing writer's strike, like, what is some advice for actors and how to keep thriving in this business? Because I know, like, right now, there's so many writer strikes going on in this business,
Yeah.
but, like, what is some advice for actors and to keep thriving, especially right now?
Yeah, so writer's strike is no joke. It's pretty serious and meaning that productions are delayed and the industry is very slow. Agents aren't receiving work, actors aren't receiving work, auditions. So it's very discouraging, really, like really slow and discouraging. So my advice is literally keep training. Acting classes have not stopped. Like this pause, like COVID, I took COVID to train. When the business was down, we train. So when it opens back up, you're prepared. So
Mm-hmm.
same thing with the writer's strike. There's so many online classes, so many classes still going on. Continue to train. Also support writers. Any support the TV shows that they write and make sure to show them a little love and spread awareness. And also continue making connections and produce your own films. I'm working on a few stuff. So if there's nothing for you, make it. Like
Mm-hmm, for
produce
sure.
it,
Because
make
if you,
content.
yeah, like if you're not like finding something you enjoy or want to film, make something on your
Yeah,
own. Like basically, if you write something your own and what you're passionate about, then like I'm sure people are gonna feel the exact same way enjoying that film.
exactly.
Like
Yeah,
by the way,
it's
like if
great.
you need help writing it or anything, feel free to let me know. I'd be
I
happy to help.
will. I will, of course.
And like what like does acting business kind of look like? I know like a lot of people like when they get into acting, like what does that actually look like in terms of me getting into acting?
Oof. Okay. So to break down, I'm obviously not going to cover everything because the acting business is pretty, vast and huge. But number one, just understanding that everyone in this industry has a job, and you need to understand that job and know it's not personal that you didn't book the role. Like, this is from an actor's perspective. So much goes behind the scenes on why you didn't book it. And agents and casting directors actually root for you, especially casting directors. They want you to book these roles as much as you want to book them, but there's so many factors that go behind it. I've spoken with a lot of casting directors, and there's been casting directors that have told me that the actor is too tall for the set that they already booked, or they look too similar to the actor that they already cast, or they look too much like the director's ex-girlfriend that was crazy. There's so many things that play in that has nothing to do with you. Like your performance was great, you gave it your all, but then come the statistics, behind it. Not statistics, the behind the scenes with it. So casting
Mhm.
directors love you, they send it to the directors. There's like a whole team that has to like choose, and all of them could say yes, and the director could be like, nah. And it's frustrating, but you don't know what goes on behind that. So it's important to know
Mhm.
that. And like I said, it's full of rejection, but there's also so many successes that you can celebrate in the acting business. And it's not glamorous, but it's also shouldn't be discouraging. And you also have to know how to market yourself in this business. So obviously professional headshot, resume, your demo reel if you have footage, and your website if you have one. This is called an actor's package. This is what you present to the business people and be like, here, this is me. I have my stuff, and then they determine if you get the audition from that or not. So that's just an actor's perspective. I'm sure that, casting directors and directors can elaborate on their part, but that's just stuff that I've learned that's very important.
Like I like what you said earlier about like what's going on in the casting director and producer's mind when casting. Because like
Yeah,
even though you gave it your all in like they thought you were possibly good for the role, like you do not know what's going on in their mind when
you don't.
like when they're casting, even though they said you might be good for the role, like they think like you like we're probably gonna cast you, like they might just be saying that to so they won't hurt you and stuff.
Yeah,
Because like even though like they said that, you do not know what's going on inside their head at that second.
you
They
don't.
might say that, but then like you're like, oh, think of yourself like, oh, you remind me of my ex-girlfriend, or like you think
Yeah,
It's just something out of your control because
It
like
is out of your control, super out of like nothing you can do about it.
there's
So why
nothing.
stress about it?
Yeah, because it's nothing about you. It's just the way they kind of think
Has
about.
nothing to do with you.
Yeah, even though it might be, there's no way it involves you. There's nothing
Yeah.
that involves you. Just keep focusing on the craft. If you don't get it, you don't get it. At least you took a chance and tried. That's the most important.
Exactly. And you have so much peace knowing that you gave it your 100% and go treat yourself. Like, go get
Right?
that Starbucks. I literally cannot stand when actors put 3 hours or like over into an audition and then they don't treat themselves. Like,
I
go
know.
take a bubble bath. Like, go watch a TV show. Like, do something because you deserved it. Like, why
Right?
aren't you treating yourself? You worked
Right, because
so
like even
hard.
if you did something for a couple of hours and took a lot of your energy, and like once that
Yeah.
thing's over, do something. Like go out with friends, go and
Yes.
go on a
Treat
run, like
yourself.
celebrate. Like
Treat
even if it's
yourself.
something small, like going on a bath or watching your favorite TV show or getting ice cream. Like I'm a big ice
Or
cream person.
lighting a candle. It doesn't even
All right.
require money.
Yeah, like if even if it doesn't cost any money, do
Or
something for
dance party. I have
right. Call
those.
that one person. It can be your parent or sibling. Just be like, hey, come here. I'm putting on music. Dance with me for a second.
Yeah. Me
Like
with
because you
Taylor
need to have
Swift.
that
Yeah.
celebration, even though you might not gotten that thing you tried out for. At least you tried because you already put that dedication in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You have so much peace knowing that you gave it your all. So that's how I live. And it's
Mm-hmm.
great.
Definitely. And like you have trained with highly reviewed industry professionals in which you worked on specialized in script analysts, on-screen techniques, improv, sketch comedy, and tons of workshops. Like what were some tips or things you took away from these classes that people might like take away if they can't go to class?
Yeah. So for many years, I've been trying to do my auditions and alter them to what casting wants. And I realized that's exactly the formula to look like everybody else. Because everybody is looking at that breakdown and saying, okay, how can I be exactly what they want? And instead of doing that, you need to bring yourself to the role. And it's so hard if you don't know yourself. So,
Mm-hmm.
in these classes, I've just started to believe that what I can bring to the table is enough. And with that, and just a lot of scene study and a lot of, being comfortable with the camera and understanding the why to every script. Yes, you do your breakdown of that character, but you're also allowed to bring yourself into it. So, I'm known for my smile. I just smile all the time, and I used to hide that. Like
Me
in
too,
my auditions, I
honestly.
used to hide it all the time because I thought they wouldn't want that. But now that I started bringing it in, I get more callbacks because
Mm-hmm.
it's me, it's myself, and it's different. So that's definitely the biggest takeaway that I've learned, and I've seen so many results from bringing myself.
Because being yourself, like showing your true colors in front of the
Yeah,
casting directors, it just shows your true personality. Even if it's smiling or just being yourself, like laughing, having a good
yeah.
time, like
All your
they
little
can
quirks.
truly see it, and you just see more results out of it and everything. That's what I noticed is like as long as I be myself, then when I just talk with people about being myself and what I like, it's just like people will like you more if you like show them like who you are as a person.
Yeah. There's like this cringy quote, but I love it so much. Be yourself, because everybody else is taken. It was it was like in that era of keep calm and be yourself. But it just always stuck with me because it's so true.
It truly is true. It's no quote is truer than that.
Yeah. I love
Like,
it. It's so cringy, but
mm,
I love it.
yeah, even though it can be cringy, it's still a good quote.
It's real. It's real.
It really is. And like, do you have any funny memories or stories from filming any project?
Okay. So I was on set for Father of the Bride, which is a remake of the original Father of the Bride, but it's with Andy Garcia and Gloria Estefan. It's like the Cuban Mexican version. And it was literally the most unforgettable experience ever. I didn't have like a speaking role, but I was bumped up to like the camera a lot. It was a featured extra. But I just became so close with all the extras there because they treated us like royalty. That was like the best set I've ever been on. It was like a whole Hollywood set with Hollywood actors. And so the extras and I had a lot of time bonding. So we started playing charades like as we were waiting, but I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in my life. Like my stomach hurt. It was just like, I don't know, we just all bonded. We were all young. And I was laughing so much I literally almost ripped my dress. And when we got to set, like we wouldn't stop laughing. That was pretty bad, obviously because we had to film, but it's just like I love laughing. And we were just like we so many inside jokes were created that day. And I also met one of my very close friends, Celine, on that set. So it was just a great set experience, but that specific bonding part was just like the most fun and funniest moments ever. And then just watching the actors mess up, like, because they're normal people, like they mess up and just watching them mess up and like we were laughing like after. Yeah, it was a great set.
Like to have that bond with the people you're working with, even though
Yeah.
it might not be like a huge role, is really everything you need because like you don't you like even though you're acting and you're only there for acting, and like another important thing is also meeting new people and making new friends along the way. Even though
Yep.
like you might not stay in contact with that person after filming, like as long as you have that experience with them and hanging out with them on set, like it can just be like really small but big in your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like you do not know how much it meant to you until it actually happens.
Agreed. I still think about it all the time. It was like 2 years ago.
Oh, it was 2 years ago?
2 or 3 years ago? No, I think it was two. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, because like as like when you're in this industry, like you really connect with so many people, even though like through social media or with acting things or events or something like you whatever it may be, like me and you connected through social media. Like whether if
Yeah.
it's social media or um events or something, like as long like you may never know, as long as you're talking to someone, you may never know if it's gonna be like your lifelong friend and be best
That's what
friends.
happened to me. That's what happened to
Like
me. Shout
for
out to
sure.
Celine. I love you.
Yeah, like as long like you may never know. Like I met some of my best friends for this like podcast and some friends from the podcast. Like you like this is like the best part about being in this business is like you make connections like that you never expect to have.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's great.
And like, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I know it went by so quick. I wish this interview would never end, honestly. And it was so much hanging with you and learned so much for you. You're amazing. And thanks everyone so much for listening. And I hope you took away many things from this episode and make sure to go follow her on social media. Like, where can people go follow you if they want to connect with you?
So my username is at Ariany Cespedes. So my name on Instagram and TikTok.
Awesome. So everyone go follow her and thank you again for coming on. I appreciate you so much and this I can't thank you enough for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I had such a blast sharing my knowledge and sharing my experiences. So thank you for believing in
Absolutely.
me and trusting me.
Absolutely. And have a great rest of your day and we'll definitely catch up soon. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
you too. Thank
Of
you.
course. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys.